Hi guys, welcome to another Wayward Wednesday. You can see that I'm a little bit of a different setup, but today I'm here to talk to you about inclusivity and diversity in children's literature. Hi guys, this is something that I've been thinking about for a little bit. I'm here on at work because that's where I keep my workbooks. I do work with children, if you haven't noticed. And if there's one thing that is really important to me is to make sure that every child feels like they belong in our center or classroom, that every child can see themselves represented, and that their well-being, mental, emotional, physical, is first and foremost our priority. And I'm not a very artistic person. I can't draw, dance, or sing, but words have always been my comfort place. I taught myself how to read at the age of 3 because I couldn't wait for my mom to read the books I wanted. And ever since then, I love getting lost in the world and visiting the world in words. For a while, I did a little bit of writing. I consider myself more of a bard. Like, I just don't have the patience to write, but I tell stories. And, you know, I had a story that became pretty popular in my teens, but that's for another day. But if you're here and you know me, you remember my vampire alien story, but whatever. I digress. So I would say that literacy is my magic power. It is something that I want to teach every child to just find comfort in books. And it starts from the day they were born. If they see you reading and enjoying a book, they might become a reader as well. And if you just get them books from an early age that may make them think about the world around them, that's how you create a reader. And from then on, it's just a matter of, you know, flying higher and higher. But one thing that is really important is for you to choose the right books for your children. It can be any book, of course, because literacy in itself, in my opinion, is a gift. However, and before you go away and turn this off because you're not an educator or a parent, I think you can learn a thing of two, because everybody knows someone that has a child, and gifting a book is a great way as well. So just think about it, stay here, and just maybe get some ideas for your next birthday party or Christmas, or for your own child or your classroom. What I'm here to talk about is the ways that you can find and fill your classroom bookshelf with inclusivity and diversity, and being mindful about it. I have a couple of different examples. The first one that I want to mention are all of Todd Parr's books. As you can see, they're amazing because they always have a meaningful story behind them. But the characters are all different colors of the rainbow. So they look like no one, therefore anyone can relate to them. So I think this is like a great way to increase your library with diversity. Next, I have something, and this is I'm very conflicted about sharing with you guys, because I am anti-MLM, multi-level marketing. I do not like how some companies, more than others, prey on vulnerable people. I'll link down below my favorite anti-MLM creators so you can have an idea of what I'm saying this. But the one company I struggle a lot with is Barefoot Books. Why? Because even though you can still join it as, you know, a distributor, their books are just amazing because they in their core, before big publishers were doing this, they had diverse books. They have beautiful messages. They bring the world to your classroom. So I cannot look past that. All I'm going to say is that if you like any of these books and you decide to buy them, please do not join the company and buy straight from the website. At least now they have a different model that you can do that. You can buy it straight from the website like they are Amazon or anything. Do not support the MLM portion of their, and I'm sorry, but I just can't walk away from this company. There being said, like I said, they show a different way of bringing diversity to your classroom. Here I have a couple of examples. This book, for example, is Skip Through the Seasons. It tells you about the seasons, but what is really nice about it is that it literally brings diversity into the pages because it has different skins and sometimes religions represented in their pages with a regular message, which is what we want because, you know, so in that, like, for example, we also have with Sailing in the Galapagos, Knick Knack Paddywhack, which I adore. And it comes with a CD that you can play if your voice is not great like mine. And this one is one of my favorite. But as you see, it's telling a tale as old as time, like a very popular children's story, but it's representing different people. So I think that helps, like this kind of inclusivity, it helps children not feel alienated. You know what I mean? And start, like, even if they're not consciously thinking about it, just thinking about the world around them. So we have The Wheel on the Bus, we have Outdoor Opposites, and My Granny Went to the Market. Those are all books that show inclusivity just in the illustration, and it is a story that we all know. They also have little stories like those ones, but this one is called We All Went on a Safari, and is a counting journey through Tanzania, and it teaches you how to count in Swahili as well. So there are ways where you can take this to a little bit of the next level. Talking about next level, I have some other ideas too. Most of these books are from Barefoot Books as well. And it is, we all have fairy tale books that talk about fairy tales. And they are amazing. Children can learn from it. But there are so many beautiful tales. Every culture has their own tales. So you can bring them to your classroom as well. So I have, for example, this one is Mama Panya's Pancakes. It's a village tale from Kenya. And I have this one, the baobab tree. I don't know, I call it baobab because that's what we call it in Portuguese. So I have to brush up on that. But we have that one. And then we have compilations, which what I like to do is you can either, if you have older children in a room, they can just read the story, or if you hold their attention, you can read a tale at a time. Or if you have younger children, treat it like a chapter book. You can read a couple of pages, then talk about it, do activities about it that get them to think, and the next day you can read the next part, so on and so forth. We have the story tree, which has tales from around the world. This one has tales from Germany, India, Russia. There are some Jewish tales, African American, Norwegian, English as well. So that's a great way. And then if you get more into it, I have this collection of African tales. And they have different fairy tales or fables from different countries in Africa. I have a book about earth tales and animal tales. And some of the tales here are also from all over the world. So if you have an immigrant child or a child whose parents are immigrant and they've heard those tales, it would be great for them to re-listen to them and feel like their culture is validated. Another way that I have for us to do that, and is a broader way, is always have an atlas and some books where everybody can be represented. This one is a Barefoot book of children, and it basically represents children in different situations, family situations, religions, places of living, and everything like that. And I really love it because it's beautiful. It doesn't require a lot of reading. It's more of like a visual story. And every time you see a page, you can see different ways of people, accommodations, different family structures and things like that. And it tells, like, even without saying anything, a beautiful story of, you know, children being so innocent and getting along and playing together. And on the same way as I have this book about Usborne, it's all about families. I think Usborne is a little bit more on the predatory side, so I'm not going to link this book down there, but you get the gist. You can look for just inclusive in illustration and stories about families and stuff. Wow, and stuff. Sorry about that. It's just, this means a lot to me, and I just want you to get it. So I'll try to calm down a bit and keep on going. And this is also from Barefoot Books. I have this, a great kit to have in any classroom, in every home, or to gift as a child, because first, it is beautiful and the images are inclusive, but this is just a little kit that has 50 different activities, and they are all connected to mindfulness. So for example, this one is a gratitude activity. I am thankful. And it says you need paper and pen, markers and crayons. And it just suggests that before you go to bed, you draw something that you're thankful for during your day. And a fun fact, you cannot be angry, sad, or upset and grateful at the same time. So gratitude is a great exercise in mental health. That being said, now I will go to other ways that you can bring inclusivity to your classroom. Classrooms always have books about feelings, because feelings are universal, and we are here to help children with their social emotional skills. And we're here to validate their feelings and teach them how to cope with them and develop self-regulation strategies. So always have books about feelings in your classroom or in your library at home, or those are great gifts for children as well. And what I try to do when I have books about feelings is not have books with people. Animals are a great way of validating everyone's feelings, because you're connecting to the message and not the characters. Another way you can do is just have fun books, like I particularly love Press Here, because the fun children get from this is universal. It's basically a book that you give prompts. So for example, it starts with ready, press here and turn the page, so the children can just press here. I was like, great! Now press the yellow dot again, and it's very interactive, and you know, you get to learn about taking turns as you read this book. And colors, and fun. Who doesn't like fun? And another one is another favorite of mine, the book with no pictures, which it is hilarious. There is no picture in this book. Like, honestly, I don't want to get copyright stricken here, but try the book. It's fantastic. And another ways that you can bring, and again, I love books with animals in the way because you can focus on a message. Some of my favorite books are the Grouchalo, because the Grouchalo basically tells a story of us judging others based on their appearance. And at the end of the day, we might be afraid of someone who's afraid of us. And you can take the message anywhere you want, but in my opinion, this book does teach in a very fun way about tolerance and about thinking about other people's feelings and empathy. The same way is The Very Cranky Bear, which is hilarious to read. It's really fun, but it basically tells a story of 4 friends and there's one bear who's really trying to hibernate and sleep, and he's cranky. But everybody tries to help this bear with the resources they can. They might not work, but at least they tried. And it shows that we always give what we have, and sometimes that has to be enough. So there are books like this that if you just think about it, is where you take it with the children. Now, I'm getting to some more specific books in inclusivity, and I'm so thankful that big publishers are catching up with the times and enjoying this. I have books like this one, which is Hair Love. Is an amazing book about a dad empowering his little girl and making her feel beautiful when she doesn't really know how to feel about her hair. And this one is about is a non-voice book. Beautiful. January was its release date, and it tells about celebrating differences. And this Eyes a Kiss in the Corner is a story about this Asian girl that finds beauty in the way her eyes look, and it's a non-voice book. So for books like these, always try to go with on voice and research the writer and or illustrator before, because the last thing you want to do is just whitewash your classroom. You don't want to bring books of people just trying to capitalize on inclusivity. If we're going to bring inclusivity to our classroom, please just make sure that is on voice. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I do. And on the topic of on voice, we're going to bring celebration. This is a hit and miss. Some people do talk about it, some people don't. Here we try to share celebration with the understanding that some celebrations, some families uphold their holidays culturally, some families only uphold them religiously, and some do both. But keep that in mind. And for that, I have some books here. For example, we have Diwali Lights, Dia de los Muertos, Ramadan Moon. We have Ye's Lantern. Is it Rosh Hashanah yet? This is my favorite. Once There Was a Christmas Tree. And with these books, the one thing I'll say is that, again, do your research. Maybe if you would only have it in your classroom, but if it was meaningful to your group or your cohort. So just make sure to connect with the parents. That is amazing. Or if you have friends from that particular religion, just, well, I lost a little bit of light, but whatever. Just connect with the parents, ask them to read it first, and make sure it's meaningful and accurate. You don't want to be bringing something that, you know, let's say I'm reading a book about Carnival and go, oop, nope, that's not how we celebrate it. So just make sure that you, before you put it in your classroom, you make sure it's accurate. And same goes for other diverse books as well. So, for example, I have this beautiful story. It was a very powerful journey. Same, this is a Munch book, From Far Away, about a little girl who lives in a war-ridden country that is forced to move far away from home. And we have Other Ways Too. This is also a beautifully illustrated book. It's called Golden Domes and Silver Lanterns, a Muslim book of colors, and it's so powerful because it not only teaches children about colors, but relate each color to a particular aspect of the Muslim culture. We love this book here as well. And with that in mind, I just wanted to let you know about some books that are coming up, and I'll be putting their pictures up here. And I find that they are very diverse and universal, both in stories and illustration. So most of these books are an example of just the illustration, the story in itself being universal, but you can see children represented in the way the characters look. So the first one I have coming March 2nd, it is an amazing book called Lockdown Hair by Linda Steinbach. This book tells a story about this little girl, Siona, who's trying to adjust to her life during our quarantine period. And it talks about, you know, how we had to move some of our connections online. So she Zooms with her grandma, and her mom is a hairdresser. So it also talks about, you know, what's going on with our lockdown here. But her worry for her mom's safety once things start to ease up a bit and her mom has to go back to work, because you can't cut someone's hair and be 2 meters apart at the same time. So it tells this beautiful story about this girl trying to keep her mom safe and process, you know, our current pandemic. So it's a great gateway for you to start engaging with children on that as well, because maybe they cannot voice it, but I think the pandemic is affecting everybody's mental health. We can process it a little bit. Children still don't have those tools, so it helps to give them the tools to learn how to cope and ease off their anxiety. Next, come April 20th, I have The Doll by Nguyen and Tran Davis. This is a powerful story about this Vietnamese girl who was a refugee, and she lived in different countries until she made her safe way to Canada, her forever home. And she was scared when she first landed here, and there was this beautiful act of kindness of a woman who brought a doll and gave her a doll. And that doll, oh, just thinking about the book, sorry, I get emotional. But to a little girl who could not speak the language and was afraid because all she knew was like running away and not having a home, someone she didn't know came and gave her a doll, and that doll to her became the symbol of hope, of feeling welcome. That's the first time she felt safe in her life. And this person, she's now a doctor, and she's telling her own story. And she also tells when she started looking at the news and when Syria situation became grave and we started accepting refugees here, how she felt compelled to show up to an airport and, oh, sorry guys, and give a little girl a doll too. You know, pay it forward is an act of kindness, and it shows that you never know how far your kindness is gonna go. Oh, Jesus, I must suck. That's a book. Well, let's just say, please buy the book. It's beautiful. Also, on April 20th is coming When Mom's Away by Layla Ahmed. And it's a beautiful story too about kindness. It's about, there's a little girl whose mom is a doctor, and because she's at the worst of the pandemic, she is forced to quarantine herself. So her mom has to be away from her and her dad. So dad is taking care of her, and then at the end there's like this powerful scene too when, you know, every day the mom comes home, all the kids in the neighborhood bang on the pan celebrating her because she is a frontline worker who's trying to help us. And it tells the story of this girl trying to adjust. And I was away from my own son for 9 months when I was going through my health treatment. So I could relate to the book as well. So this book not only talks about the pandemic, but it is also a great book to help children process when one parent is away for a reason or another. Some dads might travel and be away for 3 months at a time. Up until my 9th birthday, my dad was away a month at home and a month away. So I would have loved to have a book like that, you know, and you know, the illustrations is very accurate. So I highly recommend those 2 books coming up on April 20th. Next, on May 4th, we have Gonna Move, Gotta Bounce, Have to Jumpity Jump by Jean-Marie Stokes. Illustrations are quite fun. It is a long book, but what I love the most about it is not only diverse in its illustrations, but on the message as well, because basically tells you the story about this neurodiverse boy who just needs to move. He needs to move, he can't stay quiet, and it shows a little bit how hard life can be for them because not everybody understands. Parents are always stop moving, or you disrupting the classroom. And you know, how would you feel if you couldn't control something and someone was telling you to stop something you can't control? I wouldn't feel very good. This book teaches us all to have empathy for them, and also it teaches alternative strategies where you can keep your need to move and calm it down and hone it in a way. So I think it's a great book that teaches you. Every teacher should have it. It is a sensitive, every parent should have it if you have a child that likes moving. And it teaches that, you know what, let's give this child what they need, but in a way that is not disruptive. If that's the case, give them opportunities to move because they can't control it and their body needs it the same way some of us need to breathe. Well, all of us. But you get what I'm saying. So I highly recommend that book. On May 11th, we have Cranky right now, which is again another book about social emotional skills. It's about this girl who is cranky. Quite honest, a lot of the time. We've all been there. But instead of saying stop being cranky, she goes like, I'm not going to make apologies. This is how I feel. And it teaches kids that it's okay to have your feelings and live them. And at the end of the book, the girl goes, now I decide I'm not cranky anymore. So that's that. So it is a good way for us to also understand that we cannot invalidate children's feelings. It's a great book for anyone, really. Sorry guys, I am almost done, I promise. The next book that I have really loved and I know is coming up on June 15th is We Are All Under One Wide Sky by Deborah Wiles. It is beautiful, beautiful. It is a counting book. So first of all, get your numeracy on. And on that level, I would like to say how I loved how, you know, most counting books that you have count to 10 or count to something. This one not only counts to, but it counts down from. So we count to 10 and then count down to 1 from there. So I like this, you know, I guess it's the geek educator in me. They're really like, whoo, extra. But not only that, each illustration shows children and families for each part of the world with diverse religion, culture, living conditions, family structures. I love there's a one image of a little child that has 2 dads, a child that lives with a grandma, children that live in an apartment, children that live in the desert, children that live like in Africa in beautiful houses. It's just beautiful. I think it is a great addition to any classroom. That's what I had for you guys today. I know it's a bit of a different Wayward Wednesday, but I hope you got some great ideas to gift a child, bring to your classroom, and just reset your thinking about books and children, inclusivity and diversity, and maybe consider how important it is to make sure that whatever you have children is a safe space for them. If you like this kind of book, please, I have so many more ideas to share with you guys and more books that I can talk about. And just let me know down below and I'll keep doing videos like this. Thanks for being here with me today. And until next time, now more than ever, please go ahead and bleed the hummingbird.